All right, we'll get started in just a few moments. If you cannot hear me, let me know in the Q&A, and I will try and get that figured out for you. Once again, my name is Steve Anderson. I'm the head of customer support here at Map My Customers. We're going to be going over just a few of our main features on the web application today. We had an iOS/iPhone, iPad webinar about a month ago, and we'll be doing another webinar similar to this one coming up in the end of March, because it will be including a lot of our updates to the website, which we'll be making quite a few of them. So that should be an exciting time as well if you're an active user for Map My Customers. So we'll just get started here in just a minute or so. Just wait for a couple more people to get in here. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and get started. It's 2 o'clock now on the Eastern Coast. So this is just a demo account, a fake situation with outside reps going to a lot of different dentists or orthodontists. So just want to let you know this isn't anybody's personal account, so any of the data in here is just fictional. So we're going to start out with adding contacts. So when you are logged into the platform, the first thing you want to do before you have anything set up is add your contacts. So there's a few different ways to do it. You can add them individually. You can find new leads with our lead generator. You can add them with an Excel spreadsheet, or you can sync with your CRM if you have one, like Salesforce, Zoho, HubSpot, a lot of similar ones like that. So the first thing you're going to do is go to add contacts. And it's going to give you 4 different options. So you'll see add individual customer, import customers, find new customers, and CRM syncing. Adding individual customers, you're just going to type in the information up here and put in the information that you want. As long as it has a street address and it's recognized by Google Maps, it'll be able to get mapped onto the platform for you. So the next one would be adding it through an Excel spreadsheet. So we do have a format guide that you guys can easily follow, and you can download a sample file here. So it's going to download a CSV formatted Excel spreadsheet, just with the basic fields at the top. So as long as you have headers, you should be good to go. Really all we're looking for is at least a company name or a contact name, and then an address at the minimum. It's very easy. You're just going to follow the steps on screen. So let's just do a quick example. I'm not going to follow through with it just because it would take up a little bit too much time. But the first thing, if you're trying to load an Excel spreadsheet, you just go to the top right and see Start New Import. You're going to click all 4 of these boxes. Otherwise, you can't go on to the next round. So you'll see if I only have 3 clicked here, there's a next button that's grayed out. Once I hit the 4th one, it goes to next. So it's basically just making sure that it's in CSV format, meaning there's no commas or apostrophes. CSV stands for comma delimited, basically. So that makes it a cleaner looking version of an Excel spreadsheet. The first row has to be header labels. So that's what I was saying with the contact name, company name, street address. And then if you're doing the street address as well, make sure they're all separated into different columns. So you can't have an entire location be 123 Rainy Street, comma, Chicago, Illinois, 60657. Whatever it is, it has to be all separated out into different columns. into address, city, state, and postal code. Country isn't necessary unless you're doing a lot of international stuff. But as long as that all that is separated, it should be good to go. And then, like I was saying, each instance in the spreadsheet has to have either a company or a contact name. So when I hit next, it's going to ask you for the file. You can click anywhere in here, or you can drag it and drop it from your computer desktop. So once I have this here, I can do any one of these. And then these are really only if you want to be using special cases. So if you have customers that you want to update certain information for, you can select this one. So if they're already existing in your platform and you just want to spruce it up and fix a phone number or any of the custom fields that you have in here, like a second contact name or a second phone number, you can do that with this option. Importing contacts is unmapped. It's pretty self-explanatory, but this really only use case would be is if you're sending out email blasts and you don't want them to appear on the map. We'll go over email blasts in a little bit, but that would be the only use case for that I can think of. And then do not clean up and standardize address information. That's basically just saying if you want to import your customers with a certain format of address information. So a lot of people like to have the state just be the abbreviation. So if I were doing a spreadsheet with just the abbreviations for the states and I select this option, it won't spell out the entire name of the state. So if we're doing NC for North Carolina, it would be spelled out as North Carolina if we did not select this option. And then when you go on to the next page, you're basically just going to match up the specific field. So you'll see the column from your spreadsheet here, and then you can match it up to the field in Map My Customers. So this matched it up pretty well. So we have company matching the company name, address is matching the street address, city, state, zip, and the color of the pins. One thing to keep in mind, if you are going to be including the color of your pins in your spreadsheet, they do have to all be in lowercase. So you'll see the preview right here. If this was a capital B for blue, it would not be recognized. So they have to be all lowercase. Once I hit next, it would give you a confirmation page and let you know that the import has been started. And then this button will disappear and be replaced with a progress bar. So it'll tell you how much time is left and how many contacts out of how many contacts have been imported so far. So in the middle of it, if, let's say I have a spreadsheet of 100 customers in here and I was on 50, it would tell you there's 50 out of 100 completed. And it generally takes about 1 second per each contact. And you can load up to 5,000 at one time. The other options we're going to have for adding contacts are going to be finding new customers and syncing your CRM. So I'm going to go over the CRM really quickly. I'm just going to briefly touch on it. So once you select this, you can select from these ones right here. Sometimes there are certain versions that you need. So like Salesforce, there's a few certain versions, and Outlook, it does have a little bit of nuance to it, just because you need access to their APIs as well. So as long as you have access to the API, there shouldn't be any reason that you can't sync with us. Another way to add contacts is going to be through the lead generator. So this is going to be helpful if you're trying to find a lot of new contacts or businesses using keywords. So once you select the Find New Customers option, you can search for a specific industry or company in a specific location. So this has gotten a facelift recently as well. It used to be just a click and drag this blue circle to where you want to search from. And now you can actually just change the location by typing in a specific city or zip code. So let's just do one really quickly, and I'll show you how to add people. So I'm just going to search for dentists again. Once you hit enter, it's going to search within that blue area. So now we have the system's doing a little bit of thinking just to get those leads populated in here. So if I want to add just one of these, I can just click on it. So we have this dentist right here, and we can add it directly to our platform. If I want to do it just from, let's say, Chicago, Illinois, I can type in Chicago up here. So now it's going to search for dentists in Chicago. And you'll see we have quite a few more quite a few more options here, and you can still move the blue pin if you want to change up the results. The next thing we're going to do is going to be just go through a quick, just a quick example of what a typical visit would look like when you're using Map My Customers. So let's just say I'm at the Harrison Point Dentistry here in Cary, North Carolina. We have the edit customer page, and you'll see a lot of this information is just very basic. And then I'll show you a few things that you can do here. You can also edit the contacts here as well. So let's just say I have Louise at the front desk as a contact. You can add an email address as well, and you can also send individual emails from Map My Customers too. Once again, I'll go over the email blast towards the end of this conversation. But when you are looking at a specific customer page, there's a few things that you may want to be doing on a regular basis. It's going to be creating notes, check-ins, and reminders. To create a note, very simple, there is a notes section down here where you can type in the note that you want. So let's just say I dropped off business cards. The next thing you do is submit the note. So once you submit the note, the note's been added. It has a timestamp, so it's 2:09 p.m. here in North Carolina, and you'll get the date as well with your note. You can edit the notes if you want, or even delete them altogether. Another thing you guys may want to be doing is creating a check-in. So this is basically just a note of saying that you have had contact with this customer, and it'll be timestamped as well. You'll see the last time that this person was checked in was Tuesday, December 19th of 2017, and it's been checked in twice. So to create a check-in from the web version, you're going to use this little flag next to the Save Edits button, and it's going to ask you if you want to add a note. So you can do it without a note, but most times you are going to want to add a note. Otherwise, it's just an instance of you having a contact with them. So let's just do another quick note saying that I dropped off business cards and talked to the receptionist. So let's just drop off cards and talked to Louise. So I'm going to check in with a note. You get a little confirmation saying that it's been confirmed, and you can just hit OK. So now you have that note again here being timestamped. And then we talked to Louise, so now we can set a follow-up or a reminder. So we can do this little bell button right here next to the check-in, and you can set a reminder to visit, call, or email. Once again, this will be something that's changing a little bit. You'll be able to customize these a little bit more. Instead of just having the visit, call, or email, you'll be able to have a notes section here. But we have the map here. So the last check-in, or the last reminder that I've set was for December 22nd. So it's clearly an overdue reminder. I can set this one to whatever date or whatever time that you want. So I'm just going to set this for next Tuesday at 2 p.m. So I'll save the reminder, and you'll see there's little green check mark boxes, just making sure that you have created a check-in and a reminder. Once I save this, all those will be edited as well. So you'll see the last check-in date has changed to Tuesday, February 6th, and now we have 3 check-ins. Tying into those are going to be the check-ins and the reminders maps. So when you're looking at the platform and you want to get a quick glance of who you've checked in with or any reminders that you've set, you're going to use the mapping portion right here. Once you click on that, you'll see about halfway down that menu is the check-ins button. Once you get to the check-ins, you're going to see that there are just a few pins on here. So there's 18 shown, 0 hidden. This means that there has been a total of 18 check-ins. It's not going to show you all of your customers unless they've been checked in at each and every one. So you'll also notice that there's a white to red gradient down here at the bottom right saying 0 to 151 days. So there's a lot of them that are dark red, meaning that they are older. So these ones right here, like Tryon Family Dentistry, TTH Family Dentistry, those have been checked in at a much longer date, and we have the 151 days as the oldest one. You'll also see that some of them are light pink or a little bit darker pink, but still not as quite not as red as these other ones. These are just meaning that they're more recent. You'll also see, if I scroll below the map, you'll get a full list of the check-ins that you've done, how many times you've checked in there. You can also clear them as well. There is this auto button right here. So this is saying that you didn't check in physically using the application, but you have auto check-ins populated on your accounts. So auto check-ins basically works as if you're in the location for 5 minutes or more, and it logs a check-in for you without a note. So there's a couple settings that you may want to be using for that, and that's going to be in your account settings. So when I go to my account and settings, there's an option for the automatic check-ins. So you'll see enable automatic check-ins right here, and check-ins are on. When I go to the reminders map, it works very similarly. So I'm going to go to the reminders map, and you'll see 4 total reminders. So each one can have 1 reminder set at one time. And you'll see there's red pins and a black pin. So the red ones are meaning they're overdue, and the black ones are upcoming. You'll also get these in the list form down here. So we have the company, Harrison Point Dentistry. I just created that check-in right here. And we have Louise. I did it, the type of reminder, and when the reminder is coming up. You can also look at this in a calendar view, and you can also sync this with your calendar. So if you have a Google Calendar and you want to see these on there as well, you would just choose the authorized calendar, and then you'd sign into your Google account. And that way you can look at them without even having to log into your Map My Customers account. The next portion we're going to go over is going to be the groups. So groups is important if you are looking to segment your customers, or if you are trying to use any filtering options. So when you click on the groups, it's going to be right under the mapping portion, and it's going to be the second option. So you'll see I have quite a few groups created right here, and it's all dependent on the types of accounts I have. So in this scenario, I have dental supplies, dental light, dental chair. These are just products that I've sold to these specific customers. You can also do it by region if you want. And sometimes people do the type of tier. So if you want to have them as A accounts, those are being the most important, and then C accounts being the least important, you can separate them that way. If you want to create a group, just simply hit the add group button, and we'll just do a sample group for now. I'll just call this one webinar 26. So before you can add customers to a group, you have to create the group first. So now we have this group right here with 0 pins in it. If you want to add someone to the group, you can either do it from the individual customer page. So we have Dr. Steve right here, and you'll see there's an option for the groups. So you can use the scroll map right here. I can add them to the webinar group just by hitting the check mark. They can belong to more than one group too. So it's not like every customer can only be part of one group. They can even be part of all the groups. It's really dependent on how you want it to be used. So just for example, I will hit that one and save the edits, so it'll be added to that group. We now have 1 pin in the group for webinar 26. If you want to do it in a mass amount, you can use what's called the lasso feature. So the lasso is found in tools. So once you hit tools, lasso is the second option. And basically you're just going to draw a circle or any shape around pins that you want to be added to a specific group. Once you're done drawing your shape, we can hit edit lassoed pins, and we can put them into the group that we want. You can also change the color for specific pins from here as well. But once you're done making your edits, we can just save the pins, and I will add them to the webinar 26 group. So now we have 8 pins in that group total. If I want to look at just those ones in that group, I can select it from the list down here just by clicking, and it'll separate it out just to show you the 1 pin group for the webinar group. So now we just have those 8 pins showing on here. You can also get a quick count up at the top left above the tools bar. So you'll see 8 are shown, 24 are hidden. once I close out of it, it will revert back to the normal map. But you can also get a quick look at who's in this group, and you can click into these specific customer pages as well. So if I want to do any edits to Dr. Steve, I can click on that, and now we have Dr. Steve's page right here. But once I close out of it, it'll revert to the other map. So now we just have the basic map of all my customers here. The other way to do it, if you want to use filters or just get a quick view of certain types of accounts, we're going to go to Tools and then choose the Filters option. Pins in all groups and pins in any groups. There's a distinction between these two that should be clarified. So if I'm choosing pins in all groups and I choose more than one group at a time, the only pins that are going to show up are going to be the pins that are part of both these groups. So if I have a pin that's part of the webinar group and it's not part of the dental supplies group, it's not going to be shown on the map. So the only ones that are going to be shown is if they have both of the groups selected for each of the contacts. If I choose the pins in any groups, it'll just do an addition. So whether it's part of all three of these groups or just one group, it'll be shown on the map as well. So think of this as like an and situation or an or situation, and then think of the pins in all groups as a Venn diagram. And if you select webinar and dental supplies, those would be your two circles. And the pins that have the both groups in common would be in the middle part of the Venn diagram where the circles intersect. If you want to get more specific with certain filters, you're welcome to do so here. So if you want to do pins that match, you can even narrow it down to the city, and you can do up to 4 qualifiers. So if I want to do city contains Raleigh and groups contains the word dental, you can do that and it'll get more specific for you. So the next thing we're going to go through is going to be the routing feature. So routing is pretty simple on the web application, and whatever you guys do in the web application will also be done on the mobile application. So the first thing you're going to want to do, let me just take off these filters real quick so I get all the pins back. The first thing you want to do when you're creating a route is going to be scrolling below the map once you get to the routing page, and you're just going to hit add route. So you're going to do manual routing 9 times out of 10, so that's what I'll show you. And you can do up to 70 pins in a route. So let's just call this one webinar 26, for example, today, and then we can submit the route. So the first thing you're going to do after you start the creation of the route, you're going to name it, and then you can start selecting pins from the map. There's going to be 2 ways you can do it. One, you're going to do it individually by clicking on them. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if you select it from the map, it's going to turn into a green pin with a white star. Another way you can do it is going to be called the lasso again. So it's a very similar tool. It's just got a different purpose on the routing page. So when I use the lasso, it's going to tell you to draw the shape around it again. So I can just draw a shape around these, and I will get an optimized route once I hit save. So I'm going to go up to save on the top right, and then you have the 2 options. So visit route and order and optimize entire route. So when you choose the visit route and order, that's really only useful for when you're selecting the pins one at a time and you want to visit them in the certain order that you chose on the map. Optimizing the entire route is going to give you the quickest route given your starting and ending point. So I'm going to choose the optimize entire route. The next step is going to be choosing the amount of time you're going to spend at each of the stops. So you can do it up to 60 minutes in 15-minute increments, or you can just not set it if you don't know how long you're going to be spending at each of your accounts. I'm going to not set it for this example. Once you hit next, you're going to choose your starting location. If you want to do current location, it's going to do it if you're sharing your location with your browser. If you choose a starting location, you can get as specific as you want and type in a specific address, or you can just leave it really vague and put in a city name. So let's just say I'm coming from Durham, North Carolina, and then you're going to choose your ending location. Same idea, current location and ending location. we're going to say I'm going to Garner, North Carolina. All right, so it's doing a little bit of thinking. And now you have your starting point and your ending point noted with the play sign as if you're starting it, and then the stop sign if you're ending it. And you'll get the blue line showing you the general idea of where you're going, which route you're going to take. And if you scroll below the map, you'll get a list of the people you're going to see. So we have Briar Creek Pediatric Dentistry being the first one, and the dentist in Raleigh, North Carolina being the last one. So you'll see the start address is in Durham, the type of route that we've created, and your ending address is just Garner, North Carolina. You'll get the address, your estimated time of arrival as if you had left right now, the distance between each of the stops, and you can also sync the stops to the calendar. You'll get a quick view of the distance that you'll have traveled and the time that it will take you to travel it. For those of you that don't like to have it on the application, you're welcome to print it here. But once I close out of it, the route will be saved. So you can access that stop over and over again if you want, just by clicking choose right here, and you'll get the same exact route. The next thing I wanted to show you guys is going to be the email blast function. So this is helpful if you have groups set up. Email blasts are found from the contacts page. So we'll go to the email blast, and you're going to work this page from right to left. So let me just get my email set up. And there's going to be 3 tabs that we're going to work from. We have templates, campaigns, and reports. So you're going to do it from templates first, and you're going to create a template. So this is what a basic email format is going to look like. It's going to show an email coming from Dr. Stevens. You can create the subject to view how it would come up in the actual email. So this is going to be where you're going to want to do yourself some good and learn some email marketing. But I'm just going to say we have a sale ongoing as the subject, and then you can start typing the message that you want. So for example, hey there, we have a sale going on. You can also attach a file. So if you want to add a picture or a PDF, you can do so here just by hitting choose files, and then it'll be attached to the template. So once I save it, we're going to go on to the next step, and that's going to be the campaigns. So like I was saying, you're going to do it from right to left. So we're going to work on templates and then campaigns next. So this is going to be scheduling it out to a specific time and to specific people. So we're just going to call this one sale ongoing, and you'll want to name it to be a fitting name, probably something more specific than that. But you can send it to specific groups, or you can send it to individuals and groups. So if I want to send it to the webinar group, you'll see 8 contacts have been selected just because there are 8 people in that webinar 2-6 group. If you want to add people as well, you can just click in this little box right here. So it says send to individuals, and we can check off the triangle dentistry right here. And now we have 9 contacts instead of 8. Then you'll schedule it out to a specific date and time. So if I want to send it out tomorrow at 4 p.m., we can do so there. If you want to send it again, if they don't open it, you're going to choose these options down here. So if they don't open it, or if they open it and don't reply, you can choose to send it again with the same template. Or if you have other templates, you can select those other ones as you please. So if they don't open it within 3 days, you can have it repeat up to 3 times, and it'll send that email again for you each 3 days if they still don't open it. Once you're done saving this, it'll be finalized, and it'll send out at 4 p.m. tomorrow to the people that we selected up here. Once it's already done and scheduled and it's already been executed, so at 4:01 p.m. tomorrow, you can come to this page and check out who's opened it, what time they opened it, how many times they've opened it, all down here, and you'll get a real quick activity report. along with the action. So you'll see whether or not it's been opened, if it's been deleted, or if they've replied. All the replies will be sent to your personal email as well. That's associated with the account. So the email address that's associated with this one is drstevens@dental.com. So if someone had opened up an email blast that I had sent out to them and they replied to it, I will get the replies directly to my personal email. Another nifty thing with the email templates is you can send out individual emails as well. So if I'm on a certain customer's page, I'm at Dr. Helen Zhang. If I want to send out an individual email using the templates, there's an email automation right here. So it'll send it out immediately. So you can choose the template that you've created from a list here. So if I had more, it would give you a few more options. But once I send the email, it'll get sent directly to her email address right here. While we're on this page, this is just the all contacts page. Just a quick view of all of your customers in a list form. You can search for them up here in this top list by their company name, their first name, address, city, email address, phone number, whatever's in their profile. You would be able to select that in this search bar, and it'll narrow it down for you. So the next part is going to be the reporting. So once you have check-ins, notes, reminders set, you'll be able to get reporting on those as well. So the reports are going to be found in the dashboard. Once I get to the dashboard, you're going to have 3 tabs again, just pretty similar to the email blast function. Think of the activity page as like a news feed. So if you're using Facebook, you're looking at everybody's statuses or anything they've checked in at. You'll see them right here. It'll give you the type of event, who created it, what exactly was done. So during the webinar, we've created a new group for webinar 2.6. We edited a pin, added the name. You'll also see we edited the pin for Dr. Stevens, and we also created a new route. If you are a team owner, you will get more access than just a single user, because you can look at the reporting based on a user. So I have Dr. Anderson. If I wanted to look at just his activity, I can select him. Or if I wanted to just look at Dr. Stevens at dental.com, I can look at just that. The charts are helpful if you are using all of the check-ins and the reminders. You'll get a quick view of that. You'll see the lead stages in a pie chart. Any changes to the lead statuses, any revenue that's gone up, you'll see that here as well. And you can do that by the user too. So when I'm done with this page, I can also go look at the reports. So I can look at these reports in a Excel spreadsheet file. So if I want to do the just the notes that I have for Dr. Stevens at dental.com, I can choose a time period. So we can do past 6 days, 6 weeks, or 6 months. The most useful one that you guys will find is going to be the custom range. So if I want to do notes just for last week, I can do, let's just say I want to do for January 29th to February 2nd. You can also get as specific as the time. So if you want to change it from even down to the minute, we can just do even from 6:20 a.m. on January 29th to, let's call it 4:30 p.m. on February 2nd. Once you do that, your time setting right here, you can go down to the download report for any of these reports, and it'll populate an Excel spreadsheet for you with just the customers that have the specific actions, so like notes, check-ins, reminders, just for that time period. So when you're on a team, you'll also have the ability to share pins and give access rights if you're the team owner. So this is the teams page. I'm looking at just my team members. This is a team of 2. So we have Dr. Anderson being under Dr. Stevens being the team owner. So you can send out direct messages for Dr. Anderson, and it'll show up as a notification on their phone. this is going to be important. So sharing pins and sharing routes, they work hand in hand. So it's a very basic function, but it is important to note. So if I have a group of customers that I want to share with Dr. Anderson, I can go to share pins and then just change the no to a yes next to the name of the groups that I have. So I can share with him just the A, B, and C tier accounts, and he's only looking in zone 1 because this is the zone that he's assigned to. Once you hit the X, it'll be shared with him automatically, and it's the same idea with the sharing routes. So we created that webinar 2.6 route, but it's not shared with Dr. Anderson at dental.com. Once I select the yes, he'll now be able to use that route to his advantage. One more thing to note on the share pins page, if you're a team owner and you want your team members to have certain abilities, we can go to this page and you'll see there's 6 options to limit or enable usage on the platform. So I can allow him to share the pins with others. I can let him edit those pins that he's been shared with, or most of the time, this is going to be one that you guys don't check. So if you're sharing pins with a team member and you don't want them to delete those pins, you're going to leave this box unchecked. Once you're done making the edits here, you just hit Save Rights. All right, so we have a few questions. Couple that we've gotten so far are, what versions of Salesforce work for the sync? So when you guys have a Salesforce account, you need access to the API. So there's a handful of them out there. A couple to name are just going to be the Enterprise Edition, Ultimate Edition, Developer Edition, and Performance Edition. I believe those are all 4 of them that give you access to the API. So before you're able to sync with that, you do need access to the API. Another question I got is going to be, how do you change the color of a pin? So when I'm on a contact and I want to change the color of a specific pin, you can do so individually. So if I want to change the color for Cameron Village Dentist, you'll see his color is blue. I can just select it from this map right here, and then you just hit Save Edits. Another way you can do it is with the lasso tool again, like I showed before. So we'll go to Tools, Lasso, and then just draw around him however we want. One thing to keep in mind too, you can set a specific color for the groups as well. So I'll go to Groups, and then you'll see there's actions right here in the middle next to the name. So you'll see Set Color, Edit Name, and Delete. I can set the color for a specific group like I've done for my lead stages. So we have lead, pitch, qualified, won, and lost. And you'll get the drop-down menu of your colors here. You can also edit the name while we're here. So if I want to change Zone 3 to Zone C, whatever you want, we'll save it, and it updates the pins automatically for you. All right. Let's see. So a couple more questions, mostly pertaining to the email blasts. So someone asked, will my signature appear on the email blast automatically? Unfortunately, no, it will not unless you put it in there. That is something you'd have to do on your own, but you can attach the signature as well if you'd like. One more thing that we're going to be working on in the near future is going to be an email blast signature, so you can embed pictures directly into the message instead of having them appear as an attachment. So let's see, on the email blast, also, will they be able to view the other contacts that I send that to, or will they see only theirs? So they'll only see theirs. It's not like it's basically a blind copy. So they're not going to see if you've sent it to 200 other people. It'll be shown as a pretty much as just a quick note to them, and it seems more personal. So we left that out of there. So now it's just a blind copy. All right. A couple more questions. How do you save routing order so that it doesn't change order when you add a customer? So when you save the routing order, you're going to be doing that just if you want to do it with the manual option. So when I was going through the through the steps of creating a route, you'll notice there was that option to set the route in order. So let's just do it again really quickly. Let's just pick them from the map. So this is the option that you're going to be looking for. So when you add a customer to it, it'll just be added on to the end without changing the order in the beginning. So when you do the optimize entire route, that also takes into account the traffic as well. So that's another factor that may be changing the order of your route. And then, is there a report that can be ran to find duplicate contacts? So there isn't a report to find duplicate contacts, but one easy way to do it, if you don't have thousands and thousands of customers, it's very easy to do it from this sort. So if I'm on the customer page and I want to look at the people that are duplicates, you may want to do it from the address. So if you notice an address just in this location right here, and it's the same name, you can just select them from the list, go down here, and check off these boxes. So these are the edit boxes, and you can just hit edit, and then you can delete them from here. All right. And then back to the routing again. So can you add a contact on a saved route? Yes, you can definitely do that. If I want to add Horizon Family Dentistry to that route again, I can go to this page, just their contact page, and then you'll see the route right here. We have that webinar 26. I can add them to that route just like that. Once you hit save, they'll be added to the route. So we'll hit save, and they should be on that route. All right, if you guys have any other questions, please direct them to support@mapmycustomers.me. Either myself or someone on my team will get right to it. If you had something specific you wanted to ask, you can even just put something in the subject line referring to the webinar that we had today. But as always, nice to interact with our users. And Rick, this is actually recorded, so we will be able to send this out to everybody, and it'll be live on our support portal in probably 24 hours or so. And you can watch it from beginning to end at your convenience. All right, well, you guys have a good one. Once again, nice to talk to you guys. Good luck with Map My Customers, and we will be talking to you soon.